This is the evening news for Wednesday, October 2, 2013. I am Leanna Bradshaw. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. 4 immigration officers arrested at CJIA over bogus visas. Cabinet approves setup of new SWAT unit to fight crime. Police AG probing $3 million fraud at GPHC. Fly Jamaica not granted direct flights to U.S. And anticipation mounts as Sky Expo opens tomorrow. Now for the news in detail. At least 4 immigration officers stationed at Cheddi-Jakin International Airport CJIA are in police custody after they were accused of collecting monies to allow persons to pass through immigration with forged U.S. visas. Bishop Mohammed has the details.
Crime Chief Silar Prasad today stated that 4 immigration officers were being interrogated following the accusation. He stated that the police force is in the process of verifying if the visas were valid or not. The Evening News understands that 3 passengers were arrested in Suriname while passing through immigration and are expected to be extradited shortly. In addition, it was gathered that 4 female immigration officers requested $60,000 Guyana from the 3 passengers not to report the matter to authorities. The money was reportedly paid and the 3 passengers were allowed to pass. The offence was reportedly committed on September 30th at the Cheddi-Jakin International Airport. Nevertheless, Prasad stated that immigration officers are still employed with the Guyana Police Force since they were hired under the Public Service Regulation, but are being grilled, and based on the outcome a decision will be taken. He also added that others might or might not be questioned in relation to the incident. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
Thanks, Bisham. The recent move by the U.S. Department of Transportation DOT to deny permission to Fly Jamaica to operate direct flights from Georgetown to New York could affect the airline's operations here. More from Samuel Suknandon.
It was reported that the Airline Pilots Association, ALPA, and Airlines for America A4A of the United States denied the applications made by both Fly Jamaica and Caribbean Airlines to operate direct flights. Reports are that both air carriers had presented letters with their applications saying that they were granted flag carrier status by the government of Guyana. Caribbean Airlines official Carl Stewart told this newscast that the company's operations here will not be affected, as CAL operates flights from Georgetown to Port of Spain, Trinidad, and then to the United States. When this newscast made contact with officials from Fly Jamaica, we were told that an official response will be made on this matter by the airline in the form of a press statement to be dispatched later. Only recently, Acting Tourism Minister Irfan Ali said the introduction of 2 new air carriers this year will be a significant boost to the local air transportation sector. Ali said the government has been working hard to build and maintain capacity in the air transport sector. The Acting Tourism Minister noted that with the introduction of Fly Jamaica and the return of Travelspan later in the year, there will be a further boost to the existing capacity. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandon.
The government of Ghana has given its full approval for the Home Affairs Ministry to establish a new SWAT team within the Ghana Police Force to fight crime. A release from the Home Affairs Ministry today revealed that Cabinet has approved the establishment of a SWAT team which will be governed by the Ghana Police Force. This initiative is aimed at strengthening law enforcement capabilities to deal with the ever-growing criminal activities. The SWAT unit, the ministry said, would better equip the GPF to make specialized intervention, thereby ensuring law and order is maintained. The ministry said it has engaged the services of the Emergence Group, which is a Washington-based firm, to obtain the requisite assistance needed. The engagement process will get underway with an organizational needs assessment approach, which will be executed by experts of the firm. The SWAT team has been fully welcomed by the leadership of the GPF. Acting Police Commissioner Leroy Brummel recently voiced his disgust at the upsurge of criminal elements in society and called on citizens to declare war by doing everything in their power to protect their families. The Commissioner also called on communities to work with the GPF in addressing crimes in their communities and to report suspicious characters who linger around. For the Evening News, Leanna Bradshaw. As investigations continue into the Mambo Bar shooting, Crime Chief Silar Prasad today said that Dalals might not have been the target, but rather one of their close associates. Bisham Mohammed filed this report.
The Evening News understands that the target might have been a 28-year-old man who was acquitted of a double murder committed at Iron Punt, Northwest District in 2008. The crime chief added that based on investigations, the police have strong reasons to believe that the acquitted man was the target. He also stated that since the shooting incident which claimed the life of Shaliza Basiulal of Lot 2 Charity Esquimalt Coast, the man has not been seen or heard from. The police, he noted, has made several attempts to contact the businessman. From reports gathered, the man was seen at the bar on the night of the shooting and was reportedly on the dance floor with a relative of the dead woman. Meanwhile, Prasad also confirmed that the 19-year-old man who was arrested a few hours after the shooting incident with a 9mm Luger pistol on Mandela Avenue was not a part of the hideous crime. After tests were conducted on the gun and on the hands of the offender, it was concluded that he was clear. Prasad nevertheless stated that the police are continuing their investigations into the shooting incident. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
In this report, we hear that auditors have detected a $3 million fraud at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. The Finance Department of the Georgetown Public Hospital, GPHC, has come under scrutiny after a $3 million fraud was detected a few days ago. Following the discovery of the fraud, a senior staff from the department was taken into custody but was subsequently released. The Evening News understands that the staff handles petty cash on a daily basis. However, when a general audit was conducted on the institution's financial records, she could not give account for the monies. The medical institution stated in a release yesterday that the police and the Auditor General's office are investigating an alleged act of fraud committed on the institution. When contacted, GPHC's Chief Executive Officer Michael Kahn disclosed that the female staff has been sent on leave pending the outcome of the investigations. He reiterated that the matter is in the hands of the police and the Auditor General's office. Kahn further stated that he is awaiting the report from the probe before divulging any other information. However, he could not say whether or not any other staff will be sent on leave during the investigations. For the Evening News, Leanna Bradshaw. One of the major highlights of GAIExpo 2013 is the investment forum aimed at preparing investors to engage other countries while tapping into traditional and non-traditional markets. More from Whitney Prasad.
Government and private sector have moved to add several new features to complement GAIExpo 2013. This move is aimed directly at not only enhancing the event, but also creating new opportunities and partnerships between local and international markets. During the Current Issues and Analyses show with the Evening News Editor-in-Chief, Tourism Minister Irfan Ali said that the private sector body has expended a huge sum of money in hosting an addition of new features to GAIExpo. The minister said that the event has had a history of innovation by bringing together the business community and consumers in one environment. Ali said GAIExpo is growing rapidly and it is now one of the Caribbean's largest and diversified expo, which focuses on all sectors. The event has provided the opportunity for many businesses to advance products and enter new markets.
Barbados, for example, has been a good consumer, a good customer for GAIExpo exhibitors and many of the islands in the region. This year would be no different. We have this year one of the largest international delegations that would come, most diversified international delegation. You're talking about business delegations from St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Argentina, Brazil. Brazil delegation is the largest with 17 persons. We also have exhibitors from Nepal, India, China, Brazil again, Suriname, United States, and Trinidad and Tobago.
Meanwhile, the GMSA's President Clinton Williams during the same interview noted that the main objective is to take GAIExpo to a new level. Williams spoke extensively on the investment forum while disclosing that a significant amount of countries will be participating in that meeting.
What we're doing with GAIExpo is moving it to another notch up, where we're going to want to ensure that there is deliverables at the end of the day that can be quantified in terms of development perspectives. And to the extent that we are going to have this symposium, which is a start actually of the process, the participants at that symposium will then proceed to the exhibition site. after the exhibition, the symposium.
He said from this forum there will be building of linkages and matchmaking among countries. The GMSA president is also hopeful that there will be the signing of MOUs to secure and formalize partnerships. For the evening news, Whitney Prasad.
Thanks, Whitney. Do stay tuned. More news after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The Local Government and Regional Development Ministry today hosted a financial management workshop for about 30 representatives from various municipalities aimed at managing their limited resources properly. More from Sabatini Daniels.
Minister within the Local Government and Regional Development Ministry, Norman Whitaker, has noted that the limited subvention being given to municipalities across the country is resulting in them facing several challenges and constraints when attempts are made to execute their work plans. He said that these municipalities must learn how to manage their limited resources effectively and efficiently to get the best results as government looks at alternative measures to providing more support. Whitaker insisted that better systems of accountability must be put in place to ensure effectiveness and efficiency is guaranteed.
Or else we find ourselves spending money on things that we don't need and not being able to satisfy at least a significant number of people in terms of the service that we provide.
He told the participants that the workshop is about improving the way financial issues are handled at the various municipalities.
How we record it, how we use it, how we account for it, how we report on it, and how we can use it for making comparisons, etc.
The workshop was held under the theme Promoting Effective Financial Management. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Thanks, Sabatini. Several Guyanese gathered at the Promenade Gardens today to observe the 144th birth anniversary of the late Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Samuel Suknandan tells us more.
Indian national Durai Vayapuri and consultant working in Ghana organized a day's event which attracted persons from all walks of life and many Indian nationals to celebrate the life of the late Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. The commemoration commenced at 7 hours with a laying of floral tributes at the monument. Indian High Commissioner Puran Malmina was present to take part in that activity. Vayapuri said fasting will be done in condemnation of Freddie Kassoon's article that sought to blemish Gandhi's impeccable character.
This will all heart of the good people, they must know Gandhi is very greatest person in the world. Nobody can suspect him. It is a great man. Through non-violence, he got freedom of India and equality of South Africans and all countries through his own non-violence and ahimsa satyagraha got independence, so many countries.
In his column of February 17, Kissoon wrote, "Has colonialism permanently damaged the Guyanese psyche?" From out of the blue, he declared that Gandhi was a homosexual. Guyanese of all ilk and social origins had come out in unity to defend the vicious attack by the Kaichir News columnists against Gandhi. The attack on Gandhi was totally unnecessary. Gandhi was the permanent leader of Indian nationalism in British-ruled India. Employing non-violent civil disobedience, Gandhi led India to independence and inspired movements from civil rights and freedom across the world. Reporting from the Promenade Gardens in Georgetown, I'm Samuel Suknandan for the Evening News.
A Partnership for National Unity APNU Member of Parliament Basil Williams says his party will not go down the road of initiating any protests to convince President Donald Ramotar to assent to the local government bills. Sabatini Daniels has the details.
Responding to questions posed about what measures APNU can take if the President declines to assent to the recently passed local government bills, APNU Member of Parliament Basil Williams said since work is already being done in Parliament to iron out conflicting issues, his party does not see staging protests as necessary. This was as APNU hosted a special conference to address this issue.
If you ask me about those songs that are made by certain disparate elements, that we are not working unless we in a marching band on the road, I disagree with that. Because you can't talk to us about marching. We've been there and done that.
The opposition has been constantly criticized for instigating protests in the past, hence Williams said the party believes that many people suffered, hence its decision to adopt different strategies to get results.
And a decision was taken, since we are Christians and we are advised by the Bible in many things that we do, and Ecclesiastes tells us that there's a time and a season for everything. And when it is time for us to return to extra parliamentary activities, I'm sure we would not shock from it.
In order for local government elections to occur, the president must assent to 4 bills before him. After this is done, preparations will be fast-tracked by the GCOM for elections. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
As part of Ghana's international obligations under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the country is expected to submit its 3rd nation communication document. In light of this, the Office of Climate Change yesterday hosted a stakeholder consultation for preparation of the document. Addressing stakeholders at the Ghana International Conference Center, head of the Office of Climate Change, Sham Nokta, thanked the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, for their support in helping Ghana to satisfy its obligations. Since signing on to the UNFCCC in 1992, Guyana has submitted its national communication in 2002 and 2012. He noted that the document presents an opportunity for Ghana to outline national steps taken to address climate change.
We need to continue to place emphasis in a number of critical areas. And principal among these is to try to better understand the impacts of climate change across a number of critical sectors, and doing this through further vulnerability assessments.
Under the country's partnership with Norway, Ghana is implementing the 2nd largest interim REDD+ mechanism and has successfully completed 3 consecutive years of good performance for which it received the funds. As such, the audit for the 4th payment has already been completed. Meanwhile, UN Resident Representative Khadija Musa applauded Ghana for its success in reducing carbon through the preservation of its forests. The national communication documents provide a general status of the key aspects related to climate change in Ghana, such as national circumstances, national greenhouse gas inventories, and programs containing measures to mitigate climate change, among others. For the Evening News, Leanna Bradshaw. Speaker of the National Assembly, Raphael Trotman, is calling for higher levels of consensus in Parliament, given the ongoing division that is dominating every sitting. Samuel Suknandon has more.
Speaker said that consensus is essential in moving the nation forward on a path of development and one that will secure a brighter future for all. He admitted that there is room for improvement, but said the current state of Parliament is not terrible, neither is it one that is performing to the optimum.
One of the bugbears we have is that MPs, for the most part, are part-time MPs, and we don't have offices in the building, and so that's something that will have to be addressed, I would say, within the next decade.
He also believes that the chair of committees should be full-time MPs as well as other issues, which he hopes to address soon. Over the past year, Guyanese have witnessed a division among MPs on various issues. More recently, the Parliament remained divided on the passing of monies critical for the continuation of one of Ghana's largest projects, the Amaila Falls Hydroelectricity Project. There continues to be clear division on a number of other matters, including the construction of the Marriott Hotel, the expansion of the Chedi Jagan International Airport, and the Specialty Hospital project. President Donald Ramotar has stressed the importance of members of the National Assembly working together in the best interests of all citizens in the wake of the new parliamentary dispensation. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandon.
Do stay tuned, more news still ahead. This is the Evening News. Welcome back. Residents of Stewartville, West Coast Demerara today protested the deplorable state of their roads, which is affecting their livelihoods. Here are details from Whitney Prasad.
From bad to worst is how residents of Stewartville described the state of the roads in the village today when the evening news visited the village. According to residents, a construction company came sometime in April and dug the road at Stewartville Railway, West Coast Demerara. However, because of the inclement weather in May-June, they stopped working and have not returned since, despite a lengthy period of good weather.
I can see now this is about 5 to 6 months. They come with one speed. Without this whole thing, if you check both sides, that's what the stuff that went on the road. They grade and throw it inside. Now they're left with 2 ponds. Almost everybody in this area got a vehicle. And it's not very easy to maintain a vehicle now. Anytime you go through now, you find the flash pan, because it carried low, they would jump. Now you find the spring would break. And this is the condition that I left this road now. Children can't walk whenever rain falls here. It is very disgusting. You can't walk on this road. If children walk in here, the next year you might find them in the pond. Something had happened to them. So we're saying that if they know that they didn't have no intention of making this road, they shouldn't have graded. They should have left it just like how it was. Because we had 1 or 2 potholes, that was bad.
Residents claimed that when it rains, the state of the roads worsen and makes it difficult to traverse. They noted that the huge potholes on the roads even prevents children from going to school.
That road, if I go and check them at the back, they very bad. It's very bad and nothing I do. And I am a perfect people that live in this country. I'm not an ordinary person. And it's very bad for look at this condition. I may walk from 7 to 7 in the morning. 7 o'clock in the afternoon, I have to push my bicycle. Morning time I can ride, but night time I can't, so we cannot go in all the hole, all the potholes.
The people also complained that because of the deplorable state of the roads throughout the village, some taxi drivers raised their fares while others refused to go in. One taxi driver related that the condition of the roads caused excessive damages to the vehicles.
I walk all over in this village every day, and school children and people complaining that when we reach too late. But they ain't complaining and say the road bad. The road is very bad. You can check from the school to Bangladesh, all the road is very, very bad. Look my car in the condition that sometimes the bottom hit and it go in.
The residents are calling on the relevant authorities to look into the matter and have the roads fixed. For the evening news, Whitney Prasad.
The Civil Defense Commission today sought to host further consultations on its final draft of the Integrated Disaster Risk Management Plan and the strategy that seeks to outline the way forward for the plan's implementation. Given an overview of the strategy, Civil Defense Commission Operations and Training Officer Major Kester Craig said it is intended to guide the implementation of disaster risk management projects and initiatives at all levels.
In terms of risk identification, the projects identify, and the many projects, is to reduce risk in Guyana through the development of comprehensive multi-risk analysis for Guyana, making improved data and mapping more accessible and available for planning and for decision making.
He outlined that the Integrated Disaster Risk Management Plan includes 3 components, including risk indicators, flood evaluation, and strengthening national and local capacities. During his presentation of the plan, Craig stated that the National Integrated Disaster Risk Management Plan also highlights the possible impacts of disaster on the country's economy and the need for recovery methods to be in place. Director General of the Civil Defense Commission, Chabilal Ramsroop, noted that it would be unfair to have a strategy implemented without public input. He said 75% of Guyana's population reside below sea level, and as such, national preparedness is necessary.
The plan recommended a 10-year implementation program, highlighting the 18 recommended projects to be completed and what should be done between 2012 and 2022. This, of course, will call for financing. We're hoping to have that, and we're hoping to implement this plan as time goes by.
He highlighted that following the 2005 floods in Guyana, government and other bodies took the necessary steps to begin putting systems in place. The floods affected 60% of the country's GDP. For the evening news, Leanna Bradshaw. Government has recognized the importance of the Geographic Information System, GIS, in advancing a national policy that is bolstered by modern-day technologies. Whitney Prasad tells us more.
The public consultation on Guyana's draft of the National Policy on Geographic Information, which was held today, is intended to provide a feedback from civil society. GIS provides the necessary framework for identifying key data sets needed for socio-economic development and specifies the mechanism for data collection, storage, and dissemination. Minister of Natural Resources and the Environment, Robert Prasad, says that there is an urgent need to create GIS-ready data sets and use geographic information applications for nation building. He said this is becoming more evident by government officials and other stakeholders who have identified that GIS is intended to analyze, manage, and present all types of geographical data.
But we also need to mainstream that too in our education system. So that will be very crucial. Also, we have to work with our partners, our other stakeholders, and provide opportunities for them to understand and to be able to, as it were, to use the technology so that they can benefit, because it must not be seen as if it's high science. It is remote science, and it's only for those who may have a PhD or 4 masters like Professor, but rather it must be for a technician, it must be for an entrepreneur, it must be for anyone at all levels must be able to utilize and to be part of this. And again, we have to do some level of mainstreaming, and I'm quite sure that the policy itself too will speak to some of those particular areas.
He urged that Ghana move quickly to develop a policy that reaches the satisfaction of all stakeholders. He warned that if steps aren't taken to implement the policy, it will be an injustice to Ghana, since the country would be losing out on tremendous benefits. Also addressing the consultation was the university's Vice-Chancellor, Jacob Opodei. For the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Thank you, Whitney. Do stay tuned. Your sport news is next. Welcome back, and now for a look at your sport news. In the headlines, Anthony optimistic cricket bill will be on front burner. Brafitt and Foodadin strike half centuries in unofficial test match. Police Gymkhana set for West Coast on Sunday. And the TNT and Mumbai Indians secure semi-final berth in Champions League T20 tournament. Now for the details. Opener Craig Brafitt and middle order batsman Asad Foodadin both struck half centuries as the West Indies A ended day 1 of the second unofficial test against India A on 283 for 6. Brafitt made 82 while Foodadin scored 63. Karen Powell and Chadwick Walton supported with 33 and 30 respectively, while Leon Johnson remained unbeaten on 36. Left arm spinner Barraj Bhatt has so far claimed 3 for 76. Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony remains optimistic that the second reading of the Cricket Administration Bill will find itself on the front burner when the National Assembly resumes later this month. Rajiv Bisnath tells us more.
The Cricket Administration Bill was returned to the National Assembly for the second time on August 7, but was deferred until the parliamentary recess ends in October. Sport Minister Dr. Frank Anthony told this sportscast on Tuesday he is optimistic that the bill will return to the National Assembly when the body resumes later this month.
Well, as you know, the report has been completed, and I hope that as soon as we resume in Parliament, that this would be one of the things that would go on the parliamentary agenda, because we had completed all the work in the parliamentary subcommittee, and we have had it ready for tabling to Parliament itself. Unfortunately, on the last day of Parliament, it was a very packed agenda, and while it was listed as one of the things that we would have raised in Parliament, it didn't come up because of the packed agenda. So we hope that as soon as we resume, that we'll be able to bring that forward.
The bill seeks to establish the Guyana Cricket Board and County Boards as corporate bodies and was tabled by government in December 2012 in a bid to end the impasse over the administration of the game in the country. It provides constitutions for the GCB, the Demerara, Berbice and Essequibo Cricket Boards. The bill was tabled following a dispute between the government of Guyana, established interim management committee, and the embattled Guyana Cricket Board over the state of cricket in Guyana.
Patrons from the West Coast Demerara area will have an opportunity on Sunday to witness and be a part of the annual Guyana Police Forces Gymkhana, which is expected to see policing with a difference and will feature a number of breathtaking displays. The event is slated for the iFlood Community Center ground. The Gymkhana, which is a regular feature on the force's calendar of activities, will see ranks from the various departments performing stunts and other daring displays. The action starts at 11 hours and admission to the venue is free. Trinidad and Tobago and Mumbai Indians are through to the semi-finals in the Champions League tournament after they recorded commanding victories in the final two preliminary games earlier today. The Caribbean side is topping the league table after hammering tournament favorites Chennai Super Kings by 8 wickets. The Super Kings famed the batting and had a rare off day and were eventually bowled out for 118. Medium pacer Riyad Emirates was the star with the ball for Trinidad and Tobago with 3 for 21. Ravi Rampal and man of the match Lyndall Simmons chipped in with 2 wickets apiece. Trinidad and Tobago completed the chase within 17.4 overs with openers Simmons 63 and Evan Lewis 38 contributing with the bat in TNT's dominant performance. Meanwhile, Mumbai Indians 152 for 4 with Rohit Sharma 51 not out and Dwayne Smith 48 defeated Perth Scorchers 149 for 6 by 6 wickets. Radisson Royals will play Chennai Super Kings in the first semi-final on Friday, while Trinidad and Tobago clash with Mumbai Indians on Saturday in the other semi-final. The final is slated for Sunday. Do stay tuned, your bird reports are next. Welcome back to the evening news, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Thursday, October 3 at 14 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Thursday, October 3 at 15 hours 25 for a period of 1.5 hours. And that's your Wednesday, October 2, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I am Leanna Bradshaw. Thanks for joining us.